up, guys? Tambo here with your weekly core report. It was an amazing week last week, loaded with winners across multiple sports. Here are some of the highlights. We kick off things in the college football streets where our members have been crushing. Phil Mix Bra hit for $1,500, while Freddie 11 won $3,400. In MMA, 57 Lions had a nice ROI, turning $100 into over $1,000. And Agency Arms LLC hit for $2.9K in NHL. Just a reminder, our memberships include all sports for one price. World Cup kicks off next week too, and we will have a ton of content to help you ship. So sign up today and let's start running pure. In the NFL, RPS ran the leaderboards once again. I landed my 5th King of the Beach ticket. D. Bailey 2106 hit for $5K. J-Rex 777 won $38K. And D. Kafer shipped a 3rd live final seat. Our biggest sport last week was the NBA, where our members shipped left and right. Our NBA content has been on fire, and you can catch our daily shows for free by subscribing to our YouTube channel right now. ROI was strong in NBA last week too. Connor turned $28 into $1,700 using K-Falix Core. Chunky Blue turned $14 into $1,700. Junior turned $64 into $1,800. Chargers 0616 hit for $2K, while Brandon 2323 won over $10K. Our coordinators joined in as well, with Bobby Hare winning $14K. Mangone hit for $16K, while K-Falix shipped for $44,000. Congrats again to all our members. If you want to be featured in our weekly core report, drop your winning lineup in our Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value with all sports included for one low price. While you're watching, hit that like button now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Until next time, let's keep running pure.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Talking some hoops, NBA Hardwood show, AP, Hoop, myself, breaking down this 8-game slate. Injury news, as always, we're waiting on. We did get a little before we came on the show, though. Wendell Carter is out. It's a pretty good slate. I mean, 2 games start at 7. Then we got the hour window. We got 4 games that start at 8. I believe actually 5 games that start at 8. And then a late night hammer at 10:30 Eastern. So we got a showdown show there, or showdown playbook that we have. Showdown contest. If NBA is going a little rough, if NFL is going a little rough, we do have that island game that you can always get in the NBA showdown streets and get some back there. Bringing my guys. I'll start with you, Hoop. We were talking a little bit about the MMA before the show. We don't need to talk about that too much. I assume a lot of people on the NBA Hardwood or on the Morningwood show yesterday got a glimpse of that. But how was your NFL day? NBA streets have been hot. We'll get to AP in the weekend, but Mangone stays hot on the weekend. A lot of good screenshots for NBA. What's going on this Monday afternoon, Hoop?
Yeah, Mangone just owning the NBA Saturday NBA streets. I mean, it's a profitable venture for old Mangone there. I mean, Mangone's a guy that he grinds just about all the NBA slates, and he's found his niche on Saturdays. And it's honestly good because, a lot of people, there's definitely an edge. I've always talked about it, like on Saturdays and Sundays for NBA, if you're in there grinding, you're going to have an edge over the competition because most people kind of take those days off from playing. They got other things going on. Our guy Mangone grinding it hard, and it's paid off back-to-back weeks. So congratulations to him. NFL got completely dusted. I'm assuming most people did, though, just because, I mean, if you played in tournaments, me and AP were talking earlier, you had to just be like hammered drunk making your teams or hungover and just didn't give a fuck and just started clicking buttons to win yesterday in NFL. It was just a random day in terms of the fantasy production. So yeah, we have NBA tonight to get it back. We have Showdown as well, NFL Showdown tonight to get it back. And if you are not a member at Rum Pier, we just released a huge promo this week for Thanksgiving, 50% off your first payment on a monthly package, which does include Sabre. I got with our guy Andy over at Sabre, and he said we're riding with Rum Pier this week. So you can get everything 50% off your first payment So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, right now is a perfect time to get in. We got Thanksgiving, obviously, we got the World Cup stuff going. We have our NFL main slate. We have obviously all our NBA content. And at Runpier, a subscription gets you access to everything on the website.
Yeah, huge promo going on right now. I'm glad you touched on that. Is there a certain date that it's going to be over by?
Yeah,
it's not going to be up.
Yeah, just for this week. And the code is, let me get it right.
Turkey
50.
Turkey 50 gets you 50% off. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite days of the year when it comes, DFS wise, just everything about Thanksgiving. You get the food, family, all that. But man, the 3 NFL games all starting at their own time, just like Christmas and NBA. It's always a great time. Bunch of money to be made.
Actually, that reminds me, I just saw some pictures popped up on my memories. You and I spent Thanksgiving together last year at the old Cowboys game. That was a lot of fun.
It was a blast. We made some money too. I remember.
Yeah.
We were definitely hammered. I didn't get who was it that was questionable that he was ruled out, a running back on the Saints? Maybe it was like Kamara or something.
Yeah, it was like
Tyron
Kamara or the backup.
something.
Yeah, like we didn't have that news, I remember, and you and I just built our teams. We're like, fuck it, we're just rolling with it. We're not playing for late swap today. We're just going.
Yeah, he was like 75% on, just sucked. When we got out of the game, it was a nice surprise checking that. Great time though. Definitely will miss that again. AP, what are your Thanksgiving plans? Obviously picking winners. No NBA on Thursdays. NFL though, talk about this NBA slate. What's going on in your world, AP?
Yeah, we do dinner at or like around lunch at my folks' house, and then we go over to my wife's family's in the evening. That's pretty low key. Watching football all day. Always have a ton of action and play on Thanksgiving. Always a very fun slate. So yeah, excited to break it down. I think we got a couple shows just dedicated to that slate this week. Man, it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving, there really is nothing better. We'll have a bunch of content for it. Playbook.
My one comment about the weekend, I'm with Hoop. Like, I don't even know how you win. Like, I was waiting for the people to like send screenshots in Discord and be like, what am I doing wrong? Just because it'd be like, fuck. It's sometimes slates happen like that. Like, it just sometimes they go that way, and there's literally nothing that you can do. Like, nothing. So you move on to the next slate, and you keep grinding.
Yeah, my best tournament team was Jacoby Brissett stack at 0.36%, which shows how the weekend went. Now, I think that one just hardly even min cash. There was a lot of snowflakes. Late swap helped me out a little bit, but we'll move on from the NFL. We did it again. NFL tonight. We do have monster showdown prize pools as always. We had Tambo, Big T, and C-Dome on the live YouTube show talking some NFL right before this. So make sure to check that out. That is a free show to get all the Tambo attack plan, man. Going 3 entry max up, Big T player pool, all of that stuff, though. You do need to be a member. No better time right now. Turkey 50% off your first month. SaberSim is included if you want to do that package as well. I think that's our biggest promo code we've ran, 50% off. So great time to get in. Again, it's going to be up for a week. Let's say hi to some people in the YouTube chat before we go game by game and break down this NBA slate. We got Ralph, Trevor Bryan, Humble, Mike, Matt, Cadlin, Slick Derula, Apone, Barnes, Sir Williams, Mikola, Danielle, Junior, Andrew Martinez, Butthole Jenkins, Nadefy. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. As always, like button, big red subscribe button. The only 2 things we ask from you. We always do appreciate it. But 8 games, no time to waste. Let's dive into the first game of the night. The Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, 226 total. Cleveland is favored by 2.5. On the injury report, DeAndre Hunter is questionable for Atlanta. On the Cleveland side, Karis LeVert is out. So some of the starters get a little bump there. AP, I'll start with you in this one. So again, 8-game slate, only 2 games locked right away. We are waiting on some news, a good amount of injury news at 8 p.m. Eastern we're waiting on. Break down this game. Do you want to, are you looking to save a lot of pieces for that 8 p.m. news? Since we probably won't get most of it with the hour window up lock. You got to talk a little game theory when we're talking about these first 2 games. So break that down and then break down any guys you like in this one.
I think you're talking about the Warrior situation. Like Steve Kerr, like he's done this multiple times now. Let the starters rest, throw in kind of your young talent, Moody, Kuminga, Poole, etc., and go compete. So like I'm working on the assumption that there's probably a good chance that Wiggins might
might sit, which creates a situation where we're going to get a ton of really, really elite value. So here it's like, man, like my guy Chetty Osman, not really my guy, the guy that always tilts me. I mean, he had himself a day. I had to look it up. And I don't know, like if you guys use StatMuse at all, but you can like look up almost anything if you type in the right question. You can check out like a player's, like their fantasy point, like performance on certain days. Sunday, this dude crushes. Every other day, he sucks. So
Everyone's
I'm not gonna.
Everyone's out clubbing except him.
He's in bed probably 7-8 o'clock, doing his thing. Knowing he's gonna get his time. No. So here's the thing. Like we got elite backcourt versus elite backcourt. Trae Young, DeJounte, against Garland and Donnie Mitchell. This is going to be a game for me. I'm excited to watch. Really excited to see what these teams have going on here. But as far as like fantasy wise, I mean, Mobley, he's fine. Jared Allen, he's fine. And then on the Hawks side, like Trae Young, you could go there if you want. In tournaments, you can play any of these guys if you want to. Unless you guys talk me into some of these guys, I just see these being like multi-entry tournament plays only. I just see so many other good plays that are popping up, like OKC situation with Giddey and Shea in a really elite spot. So I think we see a hard-fought game here. I think you see pieces, like a piece or two from each side get there, but I think it's going to be a guessing game on who it is.
Yeah, nothing jumps out the page of me. And what you said first, when you were saying, like, I assume you're referring to the Warriors news. Yeah, the Wiggins, Kevon Looney, both questionable in this game. They already ruled out people. The starting lineup, I think, is very interesting. And we're also waiting on Miami news. I mean, Bam questionable, Gabe Vincent questionable. They're still thin. Jovic would be in the consideration. We did get the Wendell Carter news, but I think it's mainly the Warriors, the starters, the Wiggins, the Looney, and then also the Heat that I am waiting on. If we don't get those two pieces of news before lock, I think it's a little interesting to backload a little bit. Again, I don't love this first game anyway. Hoop, talk about that. Anything stand out to you in this one?
Yeah, there's really not much. I mean, the Hawks it's just a tough team to really, take fantasy pieces from on smaller slates. Yeah, sure. But we have a pretty decent sized slate here, 8 games. I just don't see the need to come to this team at all. So the Hawks, I'll be passing on. I think Donovan Mitchell's a little bit interesting. If you're building multiple teams, I'd probably have to build at least 20 before I was really looking to get to him. Jared Allen potentially at 6-7, but these are just like fringe type plays. And like you said, if we don't have the news, these are guys I do not want to commit lineup spots to. So out of the gate, I mean, this is a good game to fade, in my opinion. I mean, of the 2 games that kick off at 7 Eastern, I think the other one is way more appealing than this one.
Well, I'm going to go right back to you in this one then, Hoop. You got the Orlando Magic, the Indiana Pacers, 226 total. Indy is favored by 6.5. Go to the Orlando side. Paulo's still out. Cole Anthony's still out. Mo Wagner's out. Wendell Carter Jr. just got ruled out before this. So Cole Anthony, Paulo, Wendell, 3 big pieces of this team that are out. Going to the Indy side, Duarte's still out. Nembhard is questionable. Definitely have to have some interest in the Orlando side. As far as the Indy side, Tyrese or bust is how I'm seeing it. Maybe a Miles Turner. Talk about this Indy side first. I assume you don't have too much interest there, but talk about Orlando and what this injury news does for you.
Yeah, on the Indy side, Halliburton, especially if you're going to play a lot of Magic. I mean, there are some options that I'll get you on the Magic side. So I think I do want some Halliburton. The price is getting up there, but man, he just keeps paying it off. I mean, realistically, you're looking at a floor of like 40. Now, if he goes out and gets you 40 at 9.4K, are you happy? No, but that's a floor. Like, he has massive upside. Like, he's got the 60 fantasy point upside that you want. So I like him at 9.4, especially because I'm going to be looking at some of these pieces on the Orlando Magic side. Then the only other guy that I have some interest in, probably more larger field stuff, is Jalen Smith. I think you can count on upper 20s in terms of minutes, maybe 30. He's flashed some upside this season. I mean, he had the 47 fantasy point game. That was against Houston, though, and Houston's defense is really crappy. So, long story short, Halliburton, maybe Jalen Smith. That's going to be it, though, on the Indiana side. On the Magic side, with Wendell Carter out and Paulo out, I think we can take a look at some of these bigs. And Bull is a guy that is certainly interesting. The price is up there at 6.9K, but man, he's been steady. He's been solid and paying off the price tag. He's going to play at least 30 minutes. You know that. He's capable of racking up a lot of fantasy points. So in on him. And then also Mo Bamba obviously gets that big boost with Wendell Carter out. 33 minutes last game, 40 fantasy points. And the spot's pretty good, I'd say, for Orlando. I mean, they're not a great team by any means, but, you know, I think this can be a competitive game for them. So really focused in on those two, Bull, Mo Bamba. You know, Franz Wagner, the price is starting to get up there at 7.2. But he'd be the third guy that I like on the Orlando side. So it's a team I'll definitely have some exposure to, you know, Bamba, Bull, and then Wagner as my third, and then Halliburton coming back on the Indiana side.
Is there a rule, like if you had 3 Magic, you'd force in a Halliburton? If there's 2 or less, you wouldn't care? Any thoughts on that?
I'd probably only go 2 of these guys. I don't think I want 3 Orlando guys. So yeah, that's definitely a rule you can set if you're kind of doing the advanced settings for rules. You know, definitely I wouldn't want 3 of ththese guys just because the prices are up there. It's not like we have like a full punt on one of these guys. They're, you know, mid 5s and above. So they're kind of in that mid tier.
Yeah, and an 8-game slate. We'll still be waiting on injury news. That makes sense.
Yeah.
AP, Indy side, Halliburton, Jalen Smith, any interest there? And then Orlando without Wendell Carter, Paulo's still out. Who's your favorite Magic there? How many pieces do you see yourself getting to?
Yeah, so I mean, these teams just played. It always seems like when you get a back-to-back situation where the teams are playing each other, it seems like the second game always plays kind of funky, which is a little bit of a concern for me. But just like on paper, like Mo Bamba, like such a good matchup for him, Bull as well. And then, Franz Wagner, like, man, I wish this guy would stay aggressive. When he's aggressive, especially against bad teams, the guy can get to the rim whenever he wants. And it's like he plays so tentative sometimes. So if he stays aggressive, yeah, he's going to be a good play. I love the fact that you can play him at the small forward position. I think that's going to be huge on the slate because we have so many elite guard plays. Giddey, Shea, Jalen Suggs, Jordan Clarkson. I mean, we're going to go through a lot of different options here at the guard position. So the one nice benefit to Franz, you can play him at the small forward. I can't remember. Like, I don't know if you guys recall, like if he was I know he in the first or second quarter, he didn't close going into halftime there. I can't remember if it was foul trouble or not, something I'm going to have to take another look at. But man, I do think it's a good spot for him. Jalen Suggs as well. And then on the other side, Halliburton. I mean, man, like we've been saying, the guard position absolutely loaded. Miles Turner, I mean, the price is way up there. So like tournament only for me, 7,500 because Carlisle could pull the rug out from Turner anytime he wants. Like, so, I mean, so if you're multi-entering tournament only, Miles Turner, and then, the front court for the Pacers is a little bit unpredictable. Like we've seen big games out of Jalen Smith. I don't know if it's the matchup for him here, so I'll probably pass on that. So on the Indy side, it's really Halliburton or move on for me, and that's your boy title. So I mean, man, I like the thing. Like, God, he's so good at just seeing the court, pushing things in transition, creating opportunities for his team. And so I mean, man, he's a guy that we have to consider on the slate.
Yeah, his basketball IQ is off the charts. I mean, everyone loves playing with him. He gets his guys open. He makes the right play. The assist numbers are there, can rebound the ball. So triple-double upside is always there. Price is getting a little higher, but I still don't think it's high enough. And I really don't think ownership is going to follow too much. So definitely sign me up for Tyrese. People are talking about Suggs. No Suggs question mark in YouTube chat. AP mentioned him a little bit.
No, I like Suggs.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in play. 6'3". I think Franz, Bobo, all those guys, Mo Bamba, Suggs, just I think 2 max, probably like Hoop said on a slate like this, especially with the Warriors. But I don't have a problem with any of those guys. They're short. If they get hot, they're going to play upper 30s minutes and shoot a lot. So definitely can play.
All right. So I do think this is going to be an important decision on this slate. Suggs. You got to, are you going to play him over Jordan Poole? No, you're not, in my opinion. We've seen Poole in these spots have like 40, 50 point upside. It's crazy. And then, you got Simons with no Dame. You got Shea. So there's so many different decisions to be made at the guard position, which is why I think all three of us were not like, jumping out of our chairs to talk up Jalen Suggs. He's a very good play, but there's so many options at that position.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ownership will be down because of it for sure, which is always nice. But yeah, locking in a spot early with how many good guards late, like, man, we're about to get to this Warriors spot. I mean, not playing Jordan Poole and some of those guys would definitely be very difficult. We'll get right into it. I see Mangone in chat. He asked the question. My favorite question to be, how many Warriors is too many Warriors? I'm going to ask both these guys that because it's a very good question. Warriors taking on the New Orleans Pelicans, 10.5 point total. Pelicans are favored, 227.5 total. Zion is playing. Man, Trey Murphy's questionable, but these Pelicans are healthy now. I just don't play them when they're healthy. As far as the Golden State side, Clay, Steph, Draymond, all ruled out. Wiggins, Looney, questionable. I don't think you have to run back any Pelicans. I want to ask both of you that as well. I could even play 4 Warriors. I don't need Pelicans just because they're fully healthy. The prices are there. Want your opinions on that. Hoop, I'll start with you. And then Looney, Wiggins, if they're in, do these guys take a hit? I mean, Poole, Kuminga, they're going to be the highest owned guys on the slate, I think, regardless if they're in or not. But who else gets some bumps if these guys are ruled out? If they're in, I think you can play them. You got to talk event scenarios with this Warriors side and any Pelicans.
I just don't think Wiggins is going to play here. It just seems weird that they haven't ruled him out, but I mean, it just seems like the same
That's
situation.
what makes me even wonder even more, like, why isn't he ruled out yet?
Yeah. I mean, if he does play and he's getting the full run, like, you definitely have to consider him. If he's out, it's going to be like Warriors on slot type of thing for our lineups. I'm just kind of assuming that he's going to be out. If he's out for tournaments, I think it's like 3 guys. Like I'm fine going up to 3 guys. In cash games, I'd be fine going up to 4. I mean, there's not a ton of value really on the slate when you look at it. You pull up any projections, kind of sort by the value. Not much is popping. So this value is really needed on the slate. So give me 3 in tournaments, 4. I'd be good with 4 in cash games. Poole's a lock for sure. Moody. The reason I really like Moody is small forward sucks, man. If you start looking on DraftKings, there are not many options. He's 3K. You get out of the position for the bare minimum. So I think Moody might be my favorite when you factor in what position he's eligible at. Kuminga as well. And then Looney. I think last time they had the situation, Looney did play, right? He was the one, main dude that played against San Antonio, but he didn't play a ton. So he would be my least favorite for sure. So we just need this news. I mean, it's an 8 p.m. Eastern game. There's a chance we get the Wiggins and Looney stuff before lineups locked, but that is important news on the slate. I think he's going to sit. And then the Pelicans, man, I'm with you. I just can't play these guys. Like, they're literally, it's like you're going to get 40 fantasy points from most of these dudes. McCollum, Ingram, Zion, probably looking at 40. That's not good enough to win a tournament. I mean, if you land on them in cash games, yeah, maybe, but still, I think I want more upside. There's just not enough ball to go around for all these guys. They're healthy. It's like one of my favorite teams when they're healthy, just to cross off and move on. They're healthy right now. I just don't see the reason to play these guys. There's just not the ceiling there.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. AP, talk about the Pelican side first. It'll be a lot quicker. Do you have any reads on Wiggins and Looney? Like, if Looney's out, JaMychal Green probably slides into the starting lineup. He is 3.1K. You get more value there. I mean, is there any Warriors you don't want to play? To break down this game, some if-then scenarios we have to talk about with this injury news.
Yeah, I mean, my one problem with like JaMychal Green is he's center only, I think, on DraftKings, I believe. So not the most flexible guy, whereas Jonathan Kuminga, you can play in power forward, center, forward, utility position, just more options there for him. So no, I think Hoop, broke it down really nicely. Poole, lock. Then you got Moody, you got Kuminga. Like, that's going to be kind of the foundation, I think, of a lot of really strong builds on this slate because of what you can do with Moody, small forward, and what you can do with Kuminga. You can put him at the forward spot. Now you can load up on all of those elite guard plays that we've been talking about. So I think that's going to be the path that I go down on this slate. I do want to wait for the news, though. I want to see what they do with Wiggins, I want to see how many bodies that they're going to have. The other thing too, to keep in mind, like we've seen this happen a few times now. So the Heat against the Wizards were fully healthy. Now that team is not that good, but you're talking like Kyle Lowry just in a bunch of scrubs went in there and took it to them and should have won that game against Bradley Beal, Kuzma, and Porzingis. Like, man, they like owned them there early on. Then we saw it yesterday with the Nuggets. Bones just absolutely smashed against a healthy Mavs team. I mean, man, like these, I feel like whenever, when you're going in and the team is resting all their key dudes, their main starters, whatever, I feel like it's a spot where these teams just, man, they let their guard down a little bit. And so I think the Warriors play really hard. Sure, the Pelicans are going to win, might even cover, but I think the Warriors, we've seen this spot so many times where these backup guys keep it competitive enough for them to all hit the numbers that they need to hit. So I'm going to be jamming this Warrior spot. And then, the only play I could make some sort of a case for, I do think it's a little too thin with all the other plays that we have now that are opening. But if you're multi-entering, if you're targeting that large field tournament, I think Larry Nance, I just think the game goes small. Not a good spot here for Joval, unless he just comes out and absolutely dominates the paint or something like that. Better spot for Nance. But man, I do think it's a little too thin.
Yeah, I think he'd be my favorite too. But when we have all this Warriors stuff, the Orlando side, we did just get some news. Thanks, SC in chat. Paul George is ruled out. It was like 10 minutes ago. That's the late game. He was questionable, so we glad we got that. Yeah, I think it lands or Nance McCollum maybe, but I think that is just MME for me as well. I wouldn't get there in just a couple lineups. Biggest spot on the slate. We still are waiting on some Warriors news. Warriors starting lineups is going to be important. But yeah, you can't ignore that situation at all. Let's shout out some members and coordinators in the Members Never Win segment. We got Phil Mikesbraw hit for $1,500 in college football. Freddie 1-1, $3,400 in college football. 57 Lions turned $100 into $1,000 in MMA. D Bailey 2106, $5K in NFL. J Rick 777, $38,000 in NFL. DK first shipped his third live final seats. Connor turned $28 into $700 in NBA using K-Falix Core. Chunky Blue, $14 into $1,700 in NBA. Junior, $64 into $1,800 in NBA. Charger 0616, $2,000 in NBA. Brandon 2323, over $10,000 in NBA. Bobby Hare, $14,000 in NBA. Mangone, $16,000 in NBA. And then K Fallick, $44,000 in NBA. Those were last week's. We'll have new ones tomorrow, more than likely. If you do want to be on this segment, we have a Members Never Win segment in Discord. Drop your screenshots there. If you use a coordinator's core or something helped you out, give them a shout out as well. Mangone will be on this list after a big Saturday again for him, back to back. Tambo got 2 King of the Beach seats. K Fallick got 1. It was a gross week in NFL for scoring wise, but we did have some members and coordinators. I know DJ also punched her King of the Beach. She was there last year as well. So saw a couple good screenshots. Congrats to everyone. If you do want to get on this segment, again, Members Never Win segment Discord, drop your screenshots there. Again, we do have a promo code as well, Turkey50, 50% off for your first month. It's not going to be up for long, less than a week. Get in there before Thanksgiving. Check out all of our premium content. Like button, subscribe button. What do we got? 425 watching, 125 likes. Let's get 300. I think that's a very fair number. Should be able to get done today. So 300 is the number for the plays of the day. We appreciate it in advance. Back to action. Portland Trailblazers, Milwaukee Bucks, 214.5 total. The Bucks are favored by 10. On the injury report, Dame is out. That's why AP was talking a little Anthony Simons action. As far as Milwaukee, Drew Holiday is back. They're still without Middleton. Wes Matthews, the same gang there. I don't love this game. I think it's really Anthony Simons. If you can fit Giannis, sure. What we already alluded to, we really don't have too much value. So I don't think I'm going to be getting there myself. AP, what do you see in this one?
I mean, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Title. Like I mean, the Warriors spot.
You're jamming Giannis.
Well, I mean, Moody's 3K and Kuminga's 3-3, and
12-4 is a lot though.
Yeah, exactly. But man, we've seen these spots. If those 3K guys hit the number that they need to hit, and it allows you to get like a Giannis that's going to be very low owned. And if he has one of those games, like I don't even think he needs like a monster game. If he gets us like 65, that's plenty. I would definitely want some Giannis shares in that.
Yeah, let me clarify. I think it'll be easier if Wiggins and Looney are ruled out, because then like the JaMychal Greens, people are talking Dante. I think that'd be like right now. I think how I see it, we kind of just have Kuminga that you're comfortable with down there. I mean, we got Jordan Poole at a good price tag too, but like I don't feel comfortable jamming 3-4 of these sub 4K guys.
Okay, so Dante, I would not, because he's point guard and shooting guard. He would need him to be small forward. So a lot of it comes down to the positions too, because like I don't want Dante DiVincenzo taking up a guard spot. You know that we can, Moody's
there right now.
Yeah, Moody and Kuminga. I'm telling you, Moody, Kuminga, Poole is kind of a nice base to build off of. But what I'm saying is like I do kind of like what DraftKings is doing with some of these price tags. Like Tatum has been priced way up. Giannis is priced way up. And so it makes it tougher to get like Luka has been priced way up. And these guys come into play when we get these scenarios where teams are arresting a bunch of dudes or a bunch of dudes are out and we get 3K value. And I feel like this build path goes a little bit overlooked really easily. And so I'll be looking at Giannis. I think Giannis is the guy that I want for the Bucks, and if I don't go to him, I'm completely fading him, like you said. And then I agree with you. It's Simons or pass, but I do like Anthony Simons. This dude, he's a baller, man. Especially when Dame's out. As long as this game is within like striking distance, he's going to be chucking. So I have a ton of interest in Simons.
Yeah, always love Simons. Giannis. He's always easier to play on FanDuel, just with how their pricing is. DK, do you see yourself getting to them? Do you need the Looney and Wiggins out? And then anything else you like in this one?
Yeah, I do like what DK has done with the price tags of these guys, getting them up there. And they're where they should be, mid 12s, essentially approaching 13,000. That's the production that these guys average. So that's where their price should be. Now on this slate, can we get there? I mean, yeah, you could definitely make it work. Would it be easier if those Warriors guys are ruled out? Yeah, absolutely. I do like the idea though in tournaments, just to kind of, I guess, piece together what both you guys were saying. Like if I am going to play Giannis, I think it might be a good idea to try to get Simons in there with him, because the only way Portland keeps this game close is if Simons, puts up a big boy score. So in GPPs, if you're hand building, I kind of like pairing those two together, if you're able to make it work, because again, you want Giannis to get all his run. What's the best way of that happening? That would be Portland keeping it close, and that would most likely come via Simons. So I like that pairing in GPPs, but it's just those two for me in this game. I'm not playing anyone else.
Hey, Title, real quick. All right, so just like look at the matchups, because like here's what people are going to do. They're going to pull up the box score. They're going to be like, ooh, 41, 43, 52. Giannis 12.4K. Like, why would we ever, pay? But look at the teams like the Hawks. Their team, they built a wall. Like they have bigs that can, kind of contain Giannis. I think Cleveland can also. And then that matchup against Embiid, it's always a battle between those two teams. Now you get Portland, like Jeremy Grant, like Josh Hart, like Yusuf Nurkic. I don't know. I mean, I think your boy could absolutely smash. And I think tomorrow, like we're like, gosh, hindsight, we could have easily played Giannis on the slate, and he absolutely nuked, and we didn't. And he was like 5% on. So I don't know. I might get pretty overweight on your boy tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point you made. We've talked about the Hawks multiple times. They've had Giannis's number. They build the wall. Okongwu does a great job. Collins, Capella, just a long, lengthy, athletic team. Obviously, we know with Cleveland, Jared Allen, the Mobleys, and then Philly is always tough. He's also shot the ball really poorly from the free throw line. I mean, he left a lot of points there in the last game. The minutes against Atlanta and Cleveland, that was his first game back after a week. Cleveland, the game after, 30, 31 minutes. If this game can stay close, he's going to smash, I think, for sure at 12-5. It's just, it'd be tough, I think, if Wiggins and Looney are in. I think it'd be a lot harder. And I guess the big question is, we'll just go right to the next game, because this is where it compares Giannis. The Knicks, OKC Thunder, 230 total. OKC is favored by 2. SGA, 10K. I think he is definitely a lot more popular than Giannis. 2.4K savings off of them. There's D Mitch. There's any guys on the Timberwolves you want. So AP, how do you compare SGA and Giannis? Are you just going to go all the way up to Giannis, skip SGA, get a little different build, get on a different path? What are your thoughts there? Because I think that's a big question. If you're playing Giannis, there's no way you play SGA.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I do think you could play Giddey. So it's kind of like one of those. So it's like a roster construction thing. We've seen, I mean, Giddey, I mean, man, we could see SGA and Giddey like put up triple doubles in the same night. I mean, that would be crazy. Have they ever done that? You guys know? Maybe it would have been
the same
night
triple double.
That has to be super rare. I mean, I
know it's something we'll have to look up, but
yeah, I'm just trying to think of some guys that, that'd be.
I know they both,
but I don't know for sure. That's definitely tough.
So, okay, against the Knicks, I know Giddey had one in New York in the Garden, and SGA, he still nuked, but he had 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So, yeah, that'd be a very, very rare thing to happen. Yeah. But if it's going to happen, it would have to be this duo of SGA and Giddey. So, I mean, this Thunder team, they're kind of coming together. Obviously, SGA, Giddey, both phenomenal plays. We need that 3K value to make like an SGA Giannis type of build work. But if I had to like play a piece from this game and Giannis, it would be Giddey. That would be how I make it work. But man, this game's going to be a good one to attack. Like the Knicks are not playing great defense at all. They're playing with some pace with Jalen Brunson. And then the Thunder, this team just, they have this ability to almost hang with any team. And then they collapse and lose. So it's SGA, it's Giddey, Jalen Williams. I think he looks like an absolute stud. Those are my 3 favorite plays on the Thunder side. All very, very strong plays. I never get their front court right. If you want to play JRE, go ahead. I'm not going to get there. And then on the Knicks side, I mean, I'm really curious to see what you guys are doing with like RJ Barrett. The price tag is starting to get really low. I have to bump his projections down in the optimizer, or else he just hits it like crazy. Man, really interested to see what you guys are doing with the Knicks side.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm good to keep going back to RJ Barrett. He shot double-digit field goal attempts in every game so far this year. He's been shooting pretty poorly. I didn't talk about any injury news in this one because it's not the biggest name guys, but Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish, questionable. Both those guys miss. Maybe Barrett gets a couple more minutes. Quickly, I think, would be a little beneficiary if Rose misses as well. On the OKC side, Poku's out. So that's why you mentioned Robinson Earl, Baisley, Trey Mann, Isaiah Joe, questionable. Hoop, what are you doing with these Knicks? What are you doing with RJ Barrett? And then what are you doing on this OKC side? SGA, Williams, Giddey.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what AP's saying. I mean, why mess with that front court? Just stick with the dudes that you know are going to play and get the production. SGA, obviously, Giddey, who I think is just a phenomenal player. And then this Jalen Williams is stepping up, and he's been getting consistent run, which is what you want. So 4.3K, I actually just added him to the cash chart because small forward, there's just not many options, and 4.3K, I'll take him there at that position at 4.3. So to me, I'm not messing with anyone else on this team. It's very clearly those 3. And then on the Knicks side, the guy I really like for the Knicks is Jalen Brunson. I think the price is good, 7.1K. Has the ability to shoot the ball a ton. You know, look at the last game against Phoenix, shot the ball 21 times. Against Utah, he shot at 20, and he's capable of kind of contributing across the board. I think just a really safe option. I mean, he's hit at least 35 fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5. The other game was like 28. So I like Brunson a lot here. I think he's a really strong play at that price point. It's just he's kind of in a tier kind of by himself in that like 7, low 7s range. You know, him and Giddey are both right there. I like both those guys. So give me Brunson, and yeah, I'm fine playing some Barrett. I mean, again, another guy at small forward that we don't love. He just can't hit a fucking shot. I mean, he literally can't hit a shot. 2 for 10, 5 for 18, 4 for 18, 6 for 19, 3 for 11. Like that's bad shooting. That's really, really bad shooting. You'd assume it turns at some point. So I'll keep playing him, but this is a really good game. I mean, a 230 total, Thunder favored by 2. So high total, close spread. About 5 guys here that I think I can play. So I do really like this game.
Yeah, I like it. AP, I got a question for you. Some people in chat are mentioning Quentin Grimes' name. the dude hardly saw the court until last game when Cam Reddish was ruled out. Quentin Grimes started, played 32 minutes, put up 30 DK points. Is that another 3K guy you could get to jam in a Giannis and more of a stars and scrubs if Cam Reddish is out and you see him starting, or is it still a no for you on the slate?
I mean, yeah, like I was, yeah, we need the Cam Reddish news. This is
only if he's out that you can play him for sure.
Even so, like even if you go back and look at the like how this game played out last time, I know it's a new game, obviously, but Knicks were at home. Dibs like threw in the towel so early in that fourth quarter, or he got pissed at all of his starters and he just yanked them all and played the scrubs. But so like what I'm getting at is with the Knicks, I wouldn't go box score chasing on a guy like that. Now, if Reddish is out, yeah, he's 3K. I don't think he's going to like kill you. But yeah, so just monitor the news. But gosh, I just struggle to really trust this Knicks team. Do love the Oklahoma City side though.
Yeah, it was important to bring up. TJ was talking about it in chat. Because you got like, I mean, man, like, you know, grind, like, yeah, they got Quickly, who's been really good. There's a lot of dudes that they could still go to, even if Reddish is out. So like, that's something we need, the starters. And if he's not in that starting lineup, then no, I wouldn't trust it at all. So yeah, I mean, even if he is starting, if you want to get a Giannis, if you want to get on a different build that way, we have Moody, Kuminga, some other cheapies that are the Warriors guys are definitely better plays. So it's fine if he's starting, only if he's starting. Shooting guard, small forward eligible, but yeah, it's not fun.
I actually,
Quentin Grimes.
So like I like what Hoop said about Brunson. I think he's fine. What I think I'm going to probably end up doing, like, because I think if people play multiple pieces from OKC, they're going to want to run back. It's just like a natural tendency. I don't think you necessarily need to run it back or like stack this game up. The Knicks just, man, they got so many like ISO dudes with Randall, Brunson, like even RJ Barrett. I just like, man, I just struggle to trust this team. I think they suck, and I have no idea what they're trying to do as a program.
Yeah, I mean, you got 15 other teams to choose from. You definitely don't need to play any Knicks on this slate. Brunson has been the best. He would continue to be. Yeah,
Brunson would be solid for sure.
Yeah, that's enough talking about the Knicks. Though we got 3 games left on the slate. Again, 300's the number we need. We got about 500 watching, 175 likes. 2 seconds out of your day. Thumbs up, big red subscribe button. We do appreciate it. 300's the number to get you these plays of the day. We got 3 games left to talk about, though. The Boston Celtics, the Chicago Bulls, 229.5 total. Boston is favored by 6. Robert Williams still out, Gallo out. As far as Chicago, Lonzo still out. So no new injury news here. 2 healthy teams, Hoop, which usually doesn't mean too much interest in DFS. But Brown, Tatum, Levine, Vooch, anything stand out to you?
Yeah, man, it's not my favorite game on the slate. Jaylen Brown, again, you know, small forward eligible on DK, 8.5K. I think it's a fair price tag. Not like a core player or anything, but you know, if I land on Brown and some teams, I'm good with that. But yeah, again, not a priority on the slate. I just struggle with the 10-6 price tag on Tatum. I prefer SGA. I prefer, you know, finding a way to get to Giannis if possible. I prefer just about anything else besides paying 10.6 for Tatum. So it's just going to be Jaylen Brown for me. And then on the Bulls side, they've just kind of turned into one of those teams that we talked about earlier, where when they're healthy, you just don't really want to play them. And that's the case here. If I was going anywhere, I'd say, you know, Levine at 7K or Vooch at 7.4. I just don't love it though in this spot. So this game will be Brown or pass for me here, most likely.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. AP, anything stand out to you in this one?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting spot in tournaments. Both teams off 3 days rest. Kind of rare actually in the NBA. Like these teams play almost like every other night. So, I mean, that accounts for something. And then the rotations. I mean, man, Boston, the very friendly rotation. But yeah, pricing is a problem here. But if this game stays competitive, which it should in Chicago, we've seen the Celtics this season play with pace. They've been one of the highest offensive efficiency teams like in the league. And that what that does is it forces the other team to respond. And the Bulls, the one interesting thing about the Bulls, because I do agree 100% with what Hoop said, a lot of mouths to feed. However, like these price tags are sneakily coming down, which makes it a little bit interesting when you're talking about a floor to ceiling perspective. Vucevic 7.4, DeRozan 7.9. DeRozan, like usually it's like Vucevic is like 8.3, DeRozan's like 8.9, and Levine is like 7.9 or 8K, and it's easy to cross them all off. I don't know, man. I think you can make the argument to maybe get a piece or two from this game just because those price tags have come down. It really just depends on what your goal is going to be. These guys are going to be very low owned in the right game environment. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Jason Tatum again put up like a 60 plus piece like he did already against this team. So I think in tournaments, if you can find the value, I think it's fine. And then the same with the Bulls side, like Vucevic at 7.4, he's been playing pretty good. I don't know. The price tag just seems right at the right spot to where you could maybe make the case to play him. Going to be very low owned. Same with DeRozan, same with Levine. I just wouldn't play them all. I'd try to pick and choose which ones. And it's only if you're multi-entering too, just because there's so many better plays on the slate. So it's an MME spot for me, but I do have some interest in Tatum. And then a piece, like Levine, probably not Levine, but DeRozan or Vucevic on the other side.
Yeah, that's a good point about those price tags. Now that we kind of talked,
it's like kind of sneaky.
Yeah, it's about as cheap as they've been. I mean, Levine 7K, Vooch 7.4. It's not the greatest spot, but those are price tags, and those are guys that have ceilings. Like those guys, if they went out and any of those Bulls guys got 50 tonight, you wouldn't be surprised. So I'm gonna reverse course and say that I do like some of these Bulls just because of the price tag.
Who are the ones that stand out to you? Just the Levine,
probably
DeRozan, and Vooch.
Yeah, I mean, they're all like as cheap as they've been in a while, really, when you look at it. So, I wouldn't play multiples, but, one of these guys on some of my teams I'm fine with, and probably all of them. I don't know. I guess, 7K for Levine, 7.9 for DeRozan, and 7.4 for Vooch. Probably
I think Vooch would be my favorite.
Yeah, he'd be my fave too.
Man, he's crushed this matchup too. Like a couple 50 pieces in a row. Now he gets a home game.
Certainly interesting.
Al Horford down there. Good matchup, I think, for Vucevic.
So, AP, before we get to this next game, are you more likely to play Tatum or Giannis?
Giannis, probably. I don't know. Tatum's he's been balling, but you need the raw points from him, whereas Giannis can get it done in so many different ways. Actually, Tatum has.
It's 1800.
He's coming off. Yeah. I guess it really. Okay, so Tidal to fully answer that. I guess it's going to depend. If Wiggins is out, I don't think price is necessarily going to matter, like that extra, however much the savings
18.
is. So yeah, if Wiggins is out, we get those free squares, free punts, then yeah, it would be Giannis.
Yep, makes sense. Good answer there. We got 2 games left. Butthole, I do not know how hard it is to hit this like button, but 300 is the number. Going to keep it there. 2 games left. Hopefully we get 300 so we can get you these plays of the day, get you in the winner's circle for tonight. Thumbs up, big red subscribe button. We appreciate it. 2 games left. The Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, 220 total. Minnesota is favored by 9.5. Minnesota, there's no injury news. As far as the Miami side, though, they are still very thin. Butler's still out. Hero's still out. Duncan Robinson's out. To the questionable tags, Bam questionable, Gabe Vincent questionable, Deadman questionable. If all 3 of these guys were ruled out, like Warriors, Heat, and then play anybody you want is how I'd see it. Jovic has been playing good basketball. Think he'd be very popular again. Even if 1 or 2 of Vincent, Deadman, or Bam are in, though, they're still pretty thin. AP, what are you seeing on this Miami side? If then statements with this Bam and Vincent news, but we still are seeing a thin Miami team. Not as thin as 7 bodies, which you never see since you need 8 to suit up. And they set up Vincent, but didn't play him. But man, they could still be very thin tonight. And we have the Warriors news. So compare these guys to the Warriors, what this injury news does. And then do you have any interest on the other side?
Yeah. So, luckily the price tags have come up. Like Caleb Martin's 5'4", Max Struss 6'1". I think there's potentially enough, bodies there to move off of this game. Minnesota coming off a game against Philly where Philly was undermanned as well. And it's like the fuck around, find out GIF. They were effing around against Philly. They ended up getting the win, but you got to think that they just come out and like they should be able to put away this Miami Heat team. Like, man, what's up with injuries already? Like, is the NBA going soft? It's just like crazy. It's like, it seems like each year we get more like right away. It's like dudes are out or, the sore, like, I don't know.
Well, I was listening to an interview. I can't quote exactly what it was, but they were saying that there's like before the season and weeks, like they have weeks in advance where like this guy's resting this day no matter what. And they already have those built-in rest times. Giannis a lot. I mean, like,
shouldn't they make that public though? Because like if you're 100%. Going to a game and you want to see these dudes play,
but that's why they don't do it.
Yeah.
You make it public, you lose your money for that day. But yeah, that's why like how many of these injuries are legit? Yeah, I assume a lot of them are, but there's people no doubt sitting most days that are not hurt, and it's just a built-in rest day, which I mean that's just how the NBA goes. But I assume most of these heat injuries are actually real.
So like the Timberwolves, I mean, it's again, if you're multi-entering, you could get bits and pieces there. Like we've seen Anthony Edwards absolutely nuke. We've seen one time D'Angelo Russell this season nuke, maybe twice actually. Towns could, Gobert. I don't know. It's kind of a guessing game there. They're the one team that's fully healthy. Like they got no one on their injury report. They got like 900 dudes. You could even see like Nas Reed come in and steal time. So it's like, I'm going to be avoiding that if I can. But if like randomly, Edwards falls into my lineup and I like every other piece of my lineup, I'm going to play him, especially if he falls in at the small forward or forward position. But I'm probably going to be under or off the Heat today.
Gotcha. And that is even if Bam and Vincent are out, still, Jovic. Jovic. I would play. Yeah. I mean, if Vincent's out, Bam's out, are you going to get to your boy Lowry? Put up another monster a couple times ago. As far as the Timberwolves, Ant's definitely my favorite. Your small forward position, we keep talking about 2 big games he's coming off of. I don't love playing this team though, because you can get it's like the Pelicans, like forget the other team we were talking about. They're just the Bulls. Yeah. So many mouths. I mean, what are you doing on this game with this game?
Yeah, I hope what day was that? Friday. I hope you guys followed my core because everyone wanted to play these cheap, shitty Miami Heat guys. I said, just give me my boy Lowry. He'll get the job done for us. And he played like every minute and put up 68 fantasy points. So hopefully you guys tailed that day. I'll go right back to him if the guy, they just need to be super thin. I mean, this team is fully dependent on if Bam's in and the other guys. Like if they're 8-9 bodies again tonight, sure, I'm coming back here. But if Bam, I guess most importantly, it's Bam. Like if he's in, like the prices have come up enough where I just don't need to play these guys. So really it comes down to what's going on with Bam. But again, if they're down to like 8 bodies, then we're going to have to look to load up here because, couple of these guys will go off. So this side depends on the news. My Minnesota side, dude, yeah. I mean, I don't really want to play anyone here. I mean, nothing stands out from a pricing perspective. If I was going to play anyone, it would probably be Anthony Edwards at 7.6, but I still think I'd rather spend my money elsewhere. They're 10-point favorites here at home, and they have a ton of guys that can come off the bench. So definitely not loving this one.
So if Bam is in, Vincent is out, can you get to your boy Lowry?
Maybe. He's treated me well this year, so I could potentially play him.
And they're still without Hero and Jimmy. I mean, I think you could get to Lowry.
Yeah, I'd probably play him. Yeah.
Yeah, especially how well you've been saying his name since that's probably the first day we've done NBA, and Lowry has not been someone that I've loved in the past. And
he's had monster games this year. I mean, he's had monster games.
I mean, he was like 5'4", I think, in day one when you initially got him. He's 7'2", so you obviously bought at the right time. Yep. We got one game left on this slate, though. 530 watching, 220 likes. We're gonna need a push. 300 is what we need for the plays of the day. Breaking down this last game for you. Again, we do have the promo going on right now. It just came out. Turkey 50 gets you 50% off your first month. Big day over here at Run Pure Sports. NFL Showdown. Well, all the content as always. Rubio does a great job with the playbook, core plays, Mangone's 3-entry max. We have Tambo's attack plan. We already had our show. And then NBA, of course, playbook, core plays, cast chart, the big thing as well, if you are a member, you do join, make sure you get in the Discord. You can ask all of us questions about all sports, very knowledgeable members in there as well. So if you do join with Turkey 50, make sure you do get in the Discord. You will not regret it. Like button, subscribe button, aiming for 300 with this last game on the slate. The Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Clippers, 223 total. Clippers are favored by 3. This game starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, whereas all the other games are 8 p.m. Eastern or before. 2.5 hour window. Again, we do have NBA Showdown playbook as well, I believe. Go on the site. If you got questions, you can ask us as well. Good prize pools there for tonight when all these other games are going on. Paul George was ruled out when we were on this show. Mike Conley is also out for Utah. AP, I'll go to you. What is Paul George being out do for you? Do you have interest in this late game, or are you going to be in the sheets before this game's over since you'll have no one in this game?
No, 9:30 my time. No, I'll be awake. I'll be watching. I'll be watching
by the end of the game? By the end of the
game, Central Time Zone. I'm usually, especially if I got a sweat or something like that. But man, like this, how depressing is this Clippers team? It's crazy. What we should do is probably put like a bet in on the Jazz or something here, which I've been a huge Jazz hater, but it's impressive what they're doing. I still like their lineup tonight. Clarkson's been good. You got Colin Sexton. Malik Beasley has been an absolute beast, but absolutely love. So, okay, we got a couple of options here. Obviously, we don't know what the starting lineup's going to be, but it could be Terrence Mann in there, another cheap guy, but he's at that point guard, shooting guard spot. So you have to think about, do you really want to waste a spot on that, guessing if he's going to get the start? I like Norman Powell a lot more. Storm and Norman, shout out to Glock. He made the joke that earlier in the season, all Storm and Norman was doing was storming titty bars and strip clubs out there in LA. But the guy has finally found his shot, coming off 5 for 8 from 3-point land against the Spurs. His shot looks to be back. And when his shot's back, the minutes usually return. And now no Paul George. Kawhi appears to be like they're handling Kawhi Leonard with kid gloves. Like he appears to be on a very, very hard minutes cap. So we're not going there unless you think he can get it done in 25 minutes. I don't. So, for me, it's Norman Powell. He'll likely come off the bench, which means it's going to really force his ownership down. I actually prefer him coming off the bench too. Hopefully checks in a little bit early, gets that shot dialed in. I think Norman Powell is a really interesting play. And then on the other side, Malik Beasley, again, another strong small forward option. Jordan Clarkson, another strong guard option. You could go potentially, if you wanted to in tournaments, maybe Colin Sexton. He's obviously going to get some run. And then I need you guys to talk me into if you guys are doing anything with Lauri Markkanen. I haven't been playing him, but man, when he goes off, he absolutely punishes you. So I probably won't get there, but curious to see what you guys have to say.
I'll let Hoop talk about Lauri, 7.8K. And then, I'll give my thoughts after Hoop, but Lauri, for you, anyone on this, it's an interesting spot. Even though Paul George is out, Hoop, I feel like I still have more interest on this Utah side. Without Conley, Clarkson, Sexton, Beasley, maybe THT. What do you think on this Utah side? And are you getting any Clippers?
The Clippers are just a frustrating team, regardless of who's in or out. Like, even when they're super thin, there's just not, who knows? There's just still so many question marks. A lot of teams, a guy like Paul George is ruled out, and we say, okay, we're going to this guy. With the Clippers, I don't know. Norman Powell, I think, is fine if you want to go there at 4-3. Kawhi Leonard in there only playing low 20s in terms of minutes. That takes away from a lot of these other guys. So I'm fine being off of it. Even a guy like Zubac. I think we have a lot of strong center plays today. So I'm the Clippers. No, thanks. I do have a lot of interest on the Jazz guys. Jordan Clarkson, Beasley, Horton Tucker, I think is a strong option. Maybe a little Olynyk, Lauri Markkanen. I can't do it for the 7-8. I get it that he's torched some of these slates, but if he torches the slate, that's fine. Move on to the next one. I can't pay that price tag for him. It is remarkable what he's doing though. He's been phenomenal all season. So, kudos to him. But in terms of my fantasy lineups, I can't get there at 7-8 for him. I'll play the other guys and hope they get the job done. Clarkson, Beasley, and Horton Tucker specifically. And I don't mind that Colin Sexton tournament flyer play either.
I like it. That is all 8 games on this slate. The like button, man, it is hurtful. It is definitely hurtful. Jeff and Chad, I think my 300 likes were a little high. Not much value in the over. We have 530 people watching. Yeah. I should have put the number at 500. I mean, it really is hard.
Real quick. So DeAndre Hunter got ruled out. I think that happened late while we were on the show. Does that change your guys' thoughts on the Hawks side, like AJ Griffin maybe, or any other pieces there? Because they're getting pretty thin now.
Yeah. If it was a different slate, if we didn't have all this Warriors or maybe even Miami, like I feel like AJ Griffin might be a little too thin on this slate.
Yeah.
As far as, man, like John Collins maybe at 5-6. I really still don't like this Hawks team. Hoop, what do you see? I mean, it's still another one of those healthy.
Yeah, the studs I'm not as interested in, but a guy like AJ Griffin,
you like?
Let's say Wiggins is in. Kevin Looney is in and we lose some of that Warriors value, then Griffin's a guy that we come to, I think. But, if all those Warriors guys are out and maybe the Heat guys get ruled out too, then Griffin becomes less appealing. Now, what if we don't have the news at 7 Eastern? Then that's where you really got to start making some decisions. And the guy did play, 30 minutes last time out?
Yeah,
30
played
minutes,
his best game last time.
Yeah, 29 fantasy points. I don't hate it either way. Especially if you want to get a lot of Giannis, if you want to play a lot of Giannis, if you want to play a lot of SGA and guys like that, like you're going to need some super cheap. So I don't necessarily hate it.
I might have a team or two of like Trae Young and Donnie Mitch or something, just like this backcourt, like going off. So the front, these two teams, like in the front court, like it's going to be tough to get buckets in the paint. So I think we see a lot of jump shots here. So I could see like a battle back and forth between Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell. That would be like the only way I go.
Yeah, I think AJ Griffin's a good basketball player. You aren't getting any assists from him. You hope you can get some rebounds, and you have to have a good shooting performance. And when you have DeJounte there, you got Trae there, Collins, 3-5. Like I just think there's other guys, cheaper guys that I'd rather go to on more depleted teams. But no, I mean, if you want to play AJ Griffin, if it makes you fit Giannis or something, you get that shooting guard and small forward eligibility. I don't think it's the worst thing, but the Hunter news, it doesn't move the needle too much for me at the end of the day. Like button. Yeah, it's hurtful. Unfortunately, we're about to drop the plays in the Discord. Again, monster night tonight, though. If you do want to get the plays, you're not a member. You do have to get in the Discord. You do have to be a member. Turkey 50% off. We'll be up less than a week. Thanksgiving right around the corner. Monster prize pools there. Tonight, big prize pools as well, though. NFL Showdown. Make sure you check out the Tambo C-Dome Big T video. Tambo's attack plan. Check out Mangone's 3-entry max for NBA stuff. He's been on fire. Get in the Discord. Watch the Up to Lock show. We'll be in the live show chat. They're answering your questions as always. Like button, subscribe button on the way out. Looking to see some RPS logos up top tonight. That's going to do it for us, though. For Hoop, AP, Simon Behind the Sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.